Welcome along back to the SFR. My name is Indigo, and it's the Spanish Grand Prix for round 16 here in Division 2. How you all doing tonight? My name is Jamie, or Indigo as you could call me, and alongside me is the Div 3 contender of Mad G. Welcome alongside me, mate. How you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, thanks. I wouldn't call myself a contender, mate. I'm just still out, you know me. But now I'm looking forward to this race. It's going to be absolutely cracking. If it's anything like last night, it's going to be a corker.
Oh yeah, it is a We've seen plenty of battles, especially the three-wide moment going down into turn one. Matt G, were you involved in that three-wide moment? I remember seeing, I think, an Aston Martin in the middle and an Alpine. Were you in that? Were you involved in that scrap there?
I was
Turn one.
involved. I was involved in a three-car wide to the first corner, which unfortunately I fell victim of between myself, Halvor, and Chris Big Pro, who both unfortunately spun out before the end of the race. But no, it's quite scary when you got one car left and one car right. You're like, what do I do? So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's best backing out because there's always going to be contact, especially three abreast going down into turn one. Ask Kimi Raikkonen, Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas in 2017 at the start of the Grand Prix where Bottas clipped Raikkonen and took out Verstappen, and Raikkonen and Verstappen crashed and retired from the race. Then later on, Bottas retired due to an overheating engine problem back in 2017, and that's when we saw the famous fan crying when Kimi Raikkonen got took out. But we're going to go on board with the man in the house coming around the final two corners there to open up a lap around here at the 4.6 kilometer track. So here we are on board with Joachim as he gets the DRS wide open, ready for this lap. Remember, this is the early stage of qualifying, so the track is not fully rubbered in, and also it's a new session as well. Let's see how grippy it is out there going down into turn one. And now going on board with it before turn one, I've noticed that the curbs are red, like the outside, the AstroTurf is red. I didn't see that yesterday. Is that new? That must be new, surely. I didn't recognise any of that yesterday.
Yeah, they made some alterations to the track itself, obviously making the corners a bit more flatter as it will be around this track itself. And yes, for the confusion, instead of it going AstroTurf green onto the grass, they've changed it now to red, so it actually outlines where the outside of the track actually is. So they can't literally hit the grass, think it's AstroTurf, and off they go. They know it's red, they know it's there.
Propo Jensen is in the chat, expecting Zeedham, his man, to be on pole position, and he's almost taken pole this season, but I think second place is best at the Chinese Grand Prix, where Alas Copo was the one to take pole. Joachim is coming around the final two corners. It's been a decent lap so far, a few hiccups there and there, but easily rectified on his next laps, flat out through the new modified final corner as he comes towards the line now. It's going to be a 12.7 for the Haasman. Just behind him is a Williams as he makes his way now towards the line. That is Burmeister going for a lap time. Last week's race winner, the Canadian Grand Prix, Burmeister, finally took his first win of the season. It's been a long time coming after he struggles in qualifying, finally had a decent qualifying result and managed to make it work. I think he didn't pick up a penalty at all in the race, the only driver not to pick up a penalty. He did get a 10-second time penalty due to a BS decision by the game, but it turned out to be a glitch and he got it removed. So he is the race winner, not Atlas Copo. So Atlas Copo again has got to work for that race win if he wants to success. Talk about him, he goes up into P2, the top three separated by 900s, almost a tenth there between those three, so that's how incredibly close it is, as Keith goes up into P4 with a 12.9. 4 tenths further back is Emils, exactly 4 tenths further back too, as Danny Gidan puts himself into P6 there for the LP team. Smoke goes into P5 with a 13.1. His pole time predicted to be a 12.6, he said in the chat, but I believe can go much quicker than that as we've got more across the line. Martin goes into P8, but not a representative lap time, and we're still watching on board with Burmeister in the Williams as he ran off turn number 12, I think, where Lawrence Stroll crashed back in 2018 in qualifying. It was a very bizarre crash indeed as he makes his way now towards a flat out to right-hand as we go. Should be flat out the final corner, but some people do lift off. As he crosses the line now, it's a 12.9.
It was a cracking laugh that from Burmeister, but of course the last one, of course, going to cross the line. We've got Mindful Wasp just coming down to the mid section of the lap now through 5 up to the kink at 7 and then through TV3 of 7 and 8. Mindful Boss, obviously he's got some pace behind him, but can he actually show what he's really got? As he flies through that very fast turn 9, did have a bit of traffic there, but the car just moved that way just in time as he brakes hard down for Lakaxa of turn 10. Obviously sweeping left, the car will drag naturally to the outside, then goes through 11 and 12 towards 13 of Europe car. This is where you just blast it. You just go full pelt, everything DRS will go wide open and it will cross the line with a 13.1.
I do see people rev it out in sixth gear, but he actually downshifted into fifth there, so not having the confidence there in the final corner as he puts his Aston Martin into P9, just a few hundreds away from Smoke in P8. But I agree with you what you said about Mindful Wasp. He has got some good pace, but unfortunately in the race he just drops backwards, and that's where it cost him. Sonic Hawk has joined the session. Also, I want to introduce the newcomer of Lord Brad, the top G, Andrew Tate, is in the chat in P10, 13.2 for him. We've got many Gs so far, as Zedam goes into P1 there with a 12.6 there. So he's flying so far. Didn't have a good qualifying in the Canadian Grand Prix, neither did the race. So hopefully here at the Spanish Grand Prix, he can rectify himself. Zena's one of those drivers that has difficulties, but at the same time, a great pace as well. He needs to put it all together to get the best result, and somebody else is middle of the order. That's his teammate who goes up to P4 with a 12.7. On their days, Ferrari is really quick, and it's just consistency is what's holding them back so far. If they can put it all together, Ferrari could be a real challenger, but unfortunately those mistakes, those small hiccups really do cost you the championship, and consistency is key, as we all know it.
I just watched Cassidy just fly through 7 and 8 and sliding through the back end as well. After he purpled sector 1, he's purpled sector 2 as well. So this is going to be a quick lap from Cassidy. Obviously he's dropped down the order a bit in the standings. Obviously he's fallen away. I know this guy can be rapid on his day. Let's see what he can do to the final 2 corners he comes. The confidence you need in that final corner is unreal. A lot will downshift. I had to sometimes ease off myself. There he goes, pole, a 1:12.6.
This is the man that took pole back at the Canadian Grand Prix. He took it away from Smoke at the final stages of qualifying, and once again he's showing what he could do. Yes, I agree with you with Cassidy as well, because he is really quick, but like I said about Zedam, his mistakes, but not as costly as what Zedam has done so far. But Cassidy just has those small mistakes. But although he did get front wing damage on the first lap or second lap when he made contact with Burmeister took the lead, then Cassidy got front wing damage. But the rain brought both Saubers into play. I believe they almost got a double podium, but I think because of Burmeister's tyre penalty removal, Mansour's retired because he's got a qualifying ban. Expect 3 people to retire. I think it is Ronnie Klusler and Mansour, so don't be surprised if those 3 depart the session for unknown reasons. Joachim's going through it again. We can see that multiple people going for the same set of soft compound tyres, going for the same run on the same set there, so just want to try and explore the track limits around here as well. Try and save a set of the soft compound tyres. Safety cars is a difficult one because they're not known around here at the Spanish Grand Prix, but we do see the odd crash now and then, especially at turn 9. That could be a real killer as well, as Joachim goes towards the end of the first set to buy a 10th, so already flying on his second lap on the same set of the soft compound tyres as he rounds off turn 5. A bit of overtake on the exit 2 as we make our way now towards the tricky turn 7 and turn 8 complexes. Really can catch a lot of people out, especially the exit 2, especially if you understeer to the corner, pick up that sausage curb and go off the track. I've been caught out many times by that, and the back end of the car can step out too as you turn in and accelerating at the same time. Going down towards turn 10, he's 2.5 tenths up as he nabs a bit on the apex there. I think you want to run out wide just a little bit, or maybe kiss the apex and run out wide itself, but don't really want to cut the corner there as he makes his way now out of turn 11 and turn 12. He's really playing with the track limits around here, but managed to escape it. He was millimeters of getting invalidated. DRS enabled for the Haas, and this is going to be a 12.5 to set the benchmark for the rest of the drivers to beat.
That was an epic lap from Yarm, because Yarm in the past has been unbelievably fast, but he's had a bit of a tough time since he's come back. I mean, you're saying about Mansell, obviously with a qualifying ban, he has got an absolutely monumental task to do today, because he's actually leading the championship from Burmeister by, let me think about it, by 17 points. So he's got a huge task to try and stay ahead come the end of the day.
Indeed. I think we saw that Adams had a qualifying ban back. Where was it? At the Dutch GP, and he made his way back to the field, although it wasn't the place he needed to be. But what can you do? Adams has gone for a spin. He spins the car around, and I think he picked up the throttle way too early there. Tried to recollect it. At the same time, Burmeister goes quickest. Adams needs to get back on the track quickly, otherwise the game will give him a disqualification. But Burmeister, the Dutchman, is absolutely flying, and Smoke in the Alpine goes into P2 there. And we know Smoke has got great racing qualifying pace. He used to be a Div 1 himself. He scored a podium podium back at the Jeddah Grand Prix. We saw a fantastic battle between Ramovac and Brabbitt on the final lap of the final race, where I think Hazara and Glock were fighting for P3, but both of them picked up a 3-second time penalty, where Smoke didn't and capitalised, finished ahead of them both then. And we've got Zenum on a lap time there. He's running off, I think, turn 6 and turn 7 there. Before we make our way now into this fast right-hander, we are seeing crashes there in the past. Kazuki Nakajima, one of them, as Energy Dan goes up into P3. Wow, what a great qualifier from him at 12.5. But watch out for Zenum in the Ferrari. He's improving in this middle sector. Can he keep it nice and tidy in the old... usually worry about the third sector because it's slow speed corners, but you don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to think about how the car's going to behave in the final few corners. You can just go flat out now. Here comes Zena towards the line. It's going to be a 12.3, and he just takes away pole. What about, is that 600ths of a second there between him and Burmeister? That's incredible.
That's 600ths of a second with Zena. I mean, this guy's fast, but I know he missed the first few races because he was away. But obviously, since he's come in, he's been able to be consistent and able to perform when he can. But obviously, just a shout out for Energy Dan right there, sitting in P5. Just to word out this, I don't think anyone's actually noticed this. He's sitting in 5th in the championship, but he's the only one that's not had a podium, and he's sitting in P5.
Yeah, that's a great point, you know. I'm actually looking at the championship standings right now. He's ahead of Sonic Hawk and Atlas Copo. Those two, and Casti as well. We've seen Casti always up there. We've seen those guys always up there. But like I said, consistency is really key. He missed on the podium or potential win at the British GP because he got a speeding penalty, a 10-second time penalty for speeding the pit lane. It's really costing this game. He was in a chance to win it, unfortunately, but like 10-second time penalty really demoted down the order. But consistency is key. He's doing really well so far. He's got a great pace, but still searching for his first podium of the season as well. He's going for another lap on these set of soft compound tyres, but hasn't got the ERS though to cope with it for the whole lap. Although you can save it, put it in medium. Energy Dan is the Hulkenberg of Division 2, says a Laser, and Laser knows all about that, of course, but he struggled to get a podium after his his podium streak, and the rest of it he didn't get it once more. But Energy Dan, a 10th up in the first set. Apologies about the notifications at the top left screen there. Hopefully that goes away. I'm not the PS4 anymore, so it shouldn't show the black box on the screen. But there is 5 minutes left in this qualifying session, Mad G, and this time has gone quick so far.
It is. Qualifying is always rapid, it's always frantic, and it's just always so enjoyment at the same time, as everyone's trying to find different lines, maybe using the same set of tyres twice. I mean, I do myself on my first set, always make sure I've got enough for 2 runs. But everyone's trying to get the best they can out of the track. Oh, Energy Dan was just on lap, then he just lost it in turn 10. Just had a bit of a slide. But everyone can find more time if they put their mind to it. The only trickiest corners, of course, is 7 and 8, and of course the final turn of Catalonia, turn 14. Because the car can be so unsettled, you can actually lose the rear end quite easily. So you've actually got to be committed, or that's it, you're dead, pretty much. So you've got to be committed to that corner. There's no half measures, there's no quarter. Take it or just don't. There's only 2 ways about it.
Mindful Wasp puts himself into P10. Did that qualify his teammate, I think, in the Canadian Grand Prix as well, until he had a few problems of himself as well. He has been up there, Mindful Wasp. Ronnie's retired in the pit lane. We know he's one of those people that has a qualifying ban, so that's 3 of them. That's 2 of them gone so far. We just need 1 more to retire, which is Klusler. Atlas Copo, a few hundreds up in the first sector, but down in the middle, has a bit of a wobble on going out the exit too, so that'll cost him even more time. What will he do? Will he dive back in the pit lane, put on a brand new set of softs and go for it in the latter stages qualifying? We've got Keith out there in P13 on a flying lap. Here he is around the final corner, and Melissa Harrison is cheering him on. A 2-time race winner around here. No, not around here, sorry. A 2-time race winner here in SFR in Division 2 so far this season. Great form so far. I think he's currently now in P10, just on the fringes, because Mindful Wasp is in P11. As here comes the McLaren of Adams, who just comes out the pit lane. Adams has been on absence so far, 2 races in a row. He sees his championship rival Mansell, who has got a qualifying ban. He needs to capitalise it. I said it the other way around in a few races ago, I think at the Dutch GP, where Mansell needs to capitalise and Adams had a qualifying ban. So here he is then. This is Adams' big chance to try and do something after a 2-week break. Can he come back strong here at the Spanish Grand Prix? 30.0, but we know that's not representative. But time's ticking down for Adams, so limited options, limited time, and only about 2 laps if he has a mistake on his first one.
Yeah, he's just on his lap right now. He's got a lot of work to do because he's obviously had 2 weeks off. He was the early championship run at the same time. But he's still in touch with Mansell, but needs to do a lot now to get back up there. He's just coming through turn 10 now. I say just doing our lap, getting himself prepared. Obviously, his first lap wasn't really representative because of 1 minute 30. As Kluter finally retired. So all 3 qualifying bands are now retired and waiting for the rest of this. And it's now Adams now to go for this flying lap. It's full pelt down this long straight. Getting himself on hot lap. DRS is wide open. Now the tricky turn 1. You can actually run the curve through here. Try not to be too greedy on turn 2 because it'll spin you out. But let the car just drift through turn 3. You can take it tighter. You can take it wider. No matter what, they're both the same pace. Up into turn 4, right-hander, slightly uphill as you go around it. Let the car drift out wide. Just come down the heartbreaker for turn 5. Which is taking absolutely spot on. This is an awesome lap so far. Let the car drift out to come into the tricky, to go through the kink at 6. The tricky 7 and 8. Make sure the car doesn't bounce out wide and go up with the rumble strips. Pull your foot down. Let the car grip. Feel the car. Let it do what it needs to. DRS wide open. Adams is on a pretty good lap right now. He's now 51.3. Wasn't purple, so he's not the fastest round there at the moment. And so to wonder where he's going to be setting himself up as it comes into the final 2 corners of Europcar and Catalonia itself. Full blast. Don't take, just don't take anything. Just go for it. That's all you can do. DRS wide open as he finally comes over the line to do a 1:12.8. And weirdly, only 14th. This is how fast these guys are tonight. Only pretty much half a second separate first and 15th. Apart from the new guy in the Mercedes at Lord Bragg Top G, who's sitting in 16th with a 13.2. The rest are only separated by half a second. That is amazing.
When I saw a 12.8, I thought it'd be in the top 10, but like you said, P15, the first to 8th, separated by 5 tenths of a second, but Johan gets a massive snap and he spins! Oh, that lap time was going to be good as well because it was 2 tenths up in the middle sector, so those 2 tenths holds pole position. He's running off turn 3 now as majority of drivers are on the flying laps as Johan recovers on the track. Cassie's had a bit of a moment on his lap himself as well, a few tenths down in the first sector and the middle sector too. Smoke is going for his final lap. Carver's going for his final lap, so we're going to go more with Xenon because he's further up the road, I think, in comparison to the rest of the field. I think Carver's just further up the road, so we'll go more with him. Through turn 7 and turn 8, like you said, can be very tricky. I think we saw Mick Schumacher spin there one time as well. Turn 9, the top of turn 9, Heikki Kovalainen had that massive tyre failure and crashed into the barriers. I think Brendan Hartley did the same thing. Pierre Gasly 2019 pre-season testing, and I think Lawrence Stroll in practice session as well back in 2019. So we've seen people crash there. Kazuki Nakajima crashed at the exit on the right hand side, the other side of the track. But here comes Carvin now coming towards the final corner. Let's see what the Cyberman can do. Was challenging for a win at the Canadian Grand Prix. He crossed the line and he takes pole. It's a 12.2 for Carvin and he naps pole away. Zeno is in the pit lane. I think he's made a big mistake on his lap. Burmeister is going for a flying lap. The 2 Alpines, 5th and 6th. Energy down, crossed the line to complete his lap time. Johan's in P7. We know he messed up his lap. Burmeister's going quick. He's 1 tenth up in the middle sector.
He's a 10th up, so it's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close to whether or not Burmeister can actually snatch pole off Calvin. It will be this will be an absolutely excellent lap if he does it. Come around Catalonia now, full pelt, DRS wide open. What is it? It is his pole, 1:12.2.
Incredible stuff indeed.
200th of a second he's beaten Calvin. What a qualifying session that was. Of course, now it's only 6 tenths between the top 15, but that is so close.
Unbelievable stuff indeed.
Close.
I can't believe I was just seeing there. Look at that. All close contention. Mindful Wasp, but great qualifying. Just put his Aston Martin into P5 in the later stages. Casti P6, but Calvin was up there in P2 crucially for Sauber. Sauber needed a return. They had a good start, strong start to the start of the season, but unfortunately midway through they did have a few DNSs, did not start after their, I think, holiday or something like that. But now they're back. They start to show some good pace, especially Calvin and Casti as well. So let's hope these two can keep it on. It could have been a double-sided Sauber podium if it wasn't for the rain stopping at the wrong time, because the rain came and a safety car came out, and those 2 laps the rain started to ease off, and therefore the people that stayed on the dry compound tyres, their tyres came back to them even though it was raining earlier on, and they took on the intermediate winners as well. So if it hadn't been for that safety car, I dare say an easy 1-2 for Calvin and Casti. But let's see what they can do here at the Spanish Grand Prix. It should be an interesting run down towards turn 1, a long run indeed, and we'll see. Then we saw George Russell go around the outside of Lando Norris and Max Verstappen into turn 1. Probably cost Norris the race as well, because he was stuck behind Russell for a long period of time and trying to chase down Max Verstappen at the same time as well. But here is the classifications then. It's a Sauber on a pole. Oh, no, it's not, sorry. Let me get the classifications up. It's a Williams. Past Maldonado style.
You could say, it's obviously, like I say, Williams on pole. Could be epic. Sauber second place, the Xenon third, Smoke fourth, Michael was sitting in fifth place, Gasly sixth, Martin seventh. They got Dan in eighth, Joram in 9, and of course Alex Copo rounds out the top 10.
Thank you for that, because I had a black screen, so I couldn't see the results. So I appreciate that.
No problem at all. So what are you expecting from the race itself? I mean, we've got no idea what the weather's going to be, and well, there we go. There's our answer. It's sunshine, so it could be the same as last night, a full dry race.
Oh, that's an interesting question you just asked me. I actually don't know what I could expect from this race. I know there's going to be a big battle for first place, but who comes out on top? I have no idea. It could be anybody. All these guys close contention. I hope Zeno has a good result today. He really needs that confidence boost after getting that high at the Imola Grand Prix. He's picked up 2 podiums so far this season. Has Zeno, that's the wrong graphic there. He hasn't picked up 2 podiums, it's only 1, so they need to change that on the graphics there. He picked up 1 in Imola, same with Alex Copo. They both took their first podium of the season in Imola, but it has been a struggle fest since then. He spun at Miami and spun in other races too. Had a DNF back at the Canadian Grand Prix, I think did see him as well. No, DNF, sorry, the Monaco Grand Prix, but we know that's Monaco, so we don't expect too much there from the drivers, with a lot of DNFs in that race too. But if Cena can get his act together, really try and concentrate and make sure he makes no mistakes. But it is a 33-lap race around a tough track at the Catalunya. I'm glad that they got rid of, well, they haven't got rid of it, but we used the outer layout of turn 12 or turn 13, because MotoGP take that line and so do Formula 1 now. But if that chicane was there, I'd struggle, because the tyres do overheat quite a lot. It's a heavy traction zone. You tend to start a lot, maybe spin out as well. So that has been removed to improve the racing conditions around here. It has improved a lot of the race conditions. We've seen a lot more overtakes now, because usually the Spanish Grand Prix can be a bit boring, but with the track modifications added to it, or changes, sorry, I should say, as the formation lap is underway, we see some much better races. So bright and sunny, let's see the tyre strategies, and there you are then, hards, mediums, and a few soft runners in the mix too.
It's definitely a big change in tyre strategies itself. I mean, some might be going for the soft medium route, which is very, very risky, because these tyres can die off. But I want to see what Mansell and Clute are going to do from right to the back. Let's say top guys on mediums, Zenon start on the hards, so we can do a bit of a longer stint to start with and end up on a faster tyre. It's just so much going on, so it's going to be interesting to see on what happens.
I think the mediums to hards is a better strategy now in this game, because we do see hards to mediums, but sometimes the medium compound tyres, when they drop off dramatically, because the grip is completely gone. They start sliding around a lot, whereas the hard compound tyres, when they wear, they don't wear as much, and you can still control the car. The hards are so durable, you can take them almost to the end of the Grand Prix if you want to, but obviously you can't, because you got to use the 2-step tyre rule as well. 2 different tyres in a dry race, but if the rain comes, that doesn't matter. But I don't think we're going to expect any rain here today, as it is bright and sunny out there. Can Burmeister maintain the lead going down into turn 1? We've seen it plenty of times taking off people. I think Lewis Hamilton got Nico Rosberg got Lewis Hamilton down into turn 1 in 2016, but we all know what happened after that at turn 3, where both of them crashed out, and Max Verstappen won his first race in a Red Bull in 2016 after getting replaced or swapped brown by Danny Kvyat.
Calvin went to warm his tyres up and shot right off the track.
Oh, his tyres definitely warm now.
Definitely, and a bit mucky at the same time. So everyone just lines up properly on the starting grip. Maybe not. Alex Copo, unfortunately, has missed his pit box. There's one car sitting there right in the middle of the track. These guys need to remember that you can actually, the cars ghost when you're on the grid, so you don't really need to go around them.
I learned that the hard way as well. I did the same thing. I got myself disqualified for parking not in the right correction, not in the right place. But here are the lights, 4, 5 lights, and we're going to be on the way for the Spanish Grand Prix. Burmeister gets an excellent launch, already leapfrogs ahead of Calvin. Calvin could be under pressure from the Alpine driver he is. They're going side by side as we go down this turn 1. 3 abreast between the Aston Martin, the Sauber, and the Ferrari as we head down towards turn 1 we go. And the Aston Martin gets absolutely swallowed up there. He's down to P6s on the hard compound tyres, looking to make a place back on Zeedham as we go side by side now into turn 3 we go. Zeedham has the wider line going around turn 3, but into 4 will the Aston Martin come back, and if he does, lays on the brakes, forces the Ferrari off the track. That's the last thing he needs, and now here comes Martin to take advantage more. Alas Copo's gone for a spin as we head down towards turn 6 we go. The Haas from the inside, there's cars all over the road. Energy Down's lost a few places. He's down into P10 now with the McLaren and putting big pressure on there as well. He went deep into turn 5, not quite sure if that was contact or ball by himself, but Messi first lap so far. Sonic Hawk up into P6 on the soft compound tyres. Anything you've seen so far?
So his left side of his end plates, so he's actually running with a damaged wing right now down the P11. Such a frantic first few corners. Cluse has gone up to P12 and Ron's at the P14. Mansell is basically staying where he started. The new guy, Lord Brad G, is Top G, so to say, is sitting in last place. He's being swallowed up by everyone right now.
The Haas is in the pit lane. That is MCFC, unfortunately making a trip to the pit lane. Good qualifying in Canada. Same here as Keith gets past the McLaren. No, he doesn't, because the McLaren lays on the brakes, closed the door. Klusler is not allowed through, and Keith maintains P10. I was very aggressive there, lays to the brakes. The Sonic Hawk is right to the back of his teammate. Will he dare make a move? Remember, those two made contact plenty of times. 3 times, actually. The Bahrain Grand Prix, Imola, and I believe in the British GP as well. So those two came to blows plenty of times. And Sonic Hawk, I hope, does not make contact, because both occasions was his fault. As here comes Ronnie up the inside into turn 5. That's on Zenon there. 2 stops after softer compound tyres. So he should get the grip, but he can't make a move on the Ferrari driver. But what about Sonic Hawk? Surely those two got to work together, because Sonic Hawk is on the better tyres so far. Those soft compound tyres will drop off dramatically, so he needs to make his way through. And the one thing he doesn't need to do is stay behind his teammate. He needs to go forward rather than stationary.
He does, but like I say, on the soft compounds, he needs to get past Martin quickly. M16 was in the pits to change his front wing, so I don't know what happened to him to have that wing change itself. But Sonic Hawk needs to get past Martin ASAP. But of course, they're following the 2 Saubers at the same time, so everyone's trying to work together to get the DRS to keep themselves ahead. Sonic Hawk does get past Martin in the end, and obviously he needs to make the most of those soft tyres to try and find a way past those 2 Saubers ahead of Cassidy and Calvin. But Smoke is slowly catching Burmeister as well, so he's literally right behind him, only 2.5 tenths as they go through turn 4. And it literally is like last night. There's a 6-car battle for the lead right now.
Indeed, with majority of mediums and one of the soft compound tyres, which is Sonic Hawk. Calvin Racing was so close to dropping out the 1 second range of DRS, but thankfully he's back in it then.